I'm in the middle of an unbelievable heat wave right now, so I'm gonna go to Iceland, but I absolutely need a Daenerys Targaryen outfit to wear while I'm there. So let's make one in 12 days. I think we could do it. Hey guys, I'm Mackenzie and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I take you on the behind the scenes journey of my latest cosplay project. And this video is a long time coming, 15 years to be exact, and I'm going to tackle this iconic Daenerys Targaryen outfit from season 4, episode 7. And you are probably thinking, why would you pick the marine outfit to wear in Iceland? Well, I'll tell you. 1, it's because I have 12 days to make this, and 2, I have very limited room to pack a giant costume, and it's not gonna be canon to the location, but it's still gonna be really cool. All of that to say, I'm very excited. I've been a huge Game of Thrones fan since it originally came out. Can't believe I've never cosplayed anything from Game of Thrones before, but I'm super excited, so let's go through our fabrics. Before we jump into the fabric haul, we need to take a look at the reference pictures. This is what I've collected. Per usual, I got most of my fabric for this project from Mood in New York City, so cue the fabric shopping montage. First and most important and most interesting to look at is this fabric, which I'm going to be using for the shoulder strap pieces. It's the exact same taffeta that I used for my Elizabeth Swann cosplay, but I used the berry version for that, and I feel like that really influenced my decision here because comparing it to the reference pictures, it looks right in only this one, but I just like the way that this one makes my brain feel. For the bodice fabric, I got this heavyweight satin. I'm acting as if I've done this before, this smocking technique. I've never smocked anything, but there are tutorials online, and I'm just gonna trust that I'll figure it out on YouTube. Getting the pleated fabric for the skirt was 1, weirdly hard to find, and 2, only available in mesh or satin. So, we want a satin, and it's white. We have to dye it, so I have these. Every time I dye fabric, it's against my will. I'm really scared that when I put it into the pot, all of the pleating is gonna come undone in the hot water, but I don't really have another option. This was a mistake. It looks like something that you would find in an air conditioning. It's see-through. It's see-through. You can't tell, but it's see-through. Like I could see maybe not the outside. The inside is see-through? Question mark? And there's not that much of it. Also, it's too short to be a skirt. So for those reasons, the air conditioning tinfoil burrito blanket fabric is not gonna work. In what I've found to be Game of Thrones Targaryen costume fashion, there's a lot of elements that trigger trypophobia for me. Don't look too close or you'll get upset. And then I need a very, very, very specific fabric to layer on top of that. I know I have this fabric in my stash. Problem is, past me dyed it all purple/red. So I'm gonna have to do some color theory dyeing to turn this blue. And that is a prison of my own making. But look at how perfect it is. Do you see? There's nothing quite like it on the market. And the last thing that's gonna take forever is the beading. I'm gonna try to hand bead them and not use glue, but I feel like I'm probably gonna have to use glue. Oh, and then one more thing. I'm so excited about this for no reason. This is screen accurate thread that is going to be used for some of the embroidery details on the straps, which my friend Lauren, who does so many amazing Game of Thrones cosplays, she's able to send me a link, and it came surprisingly fast. So I'm low-key so excited, mostly about using this thread. It's gorge. So that wraps up our supplies haul. We have 12 days to make this happen. I'm excited, but I'm scared. I've started the patterning process. This is where we're at. It sort of is giving armor. I'm just making this really fast because you're only in Iceland almost never. I'm a little concerned that this is hanging over the shoulder too much. But first I want to draft out the boob covering. She's got a lot more than I've got going on. That is too small. Better? Much better. This is slightly too big. Everywhere. We have a pattern! Now that I have a mock-up figured out, it's time to cut out my pattern of my actual fabric, which probably was a little bit more on the flimsy side. I was blinded by the fact that this is the same fabric I used for Elizabeth Swann, and it's just shiny and cool to look at. But bird brain aside, I did have to do some interfacing, so I'm just using some lightweight interfacing, and it did make turning this inside out a little bit more difficult. It took me about one episode of Game of Thrones to do both of these, but that's neither here nor there. Once I assembled it, I decided maybe the color was a little bit too teal, so I am doing a little bit of painting on top of it just to try to bring it back to earth on a little bit closer to the actual references. And because speed is imperative with this costume, I thought I could just dive right in and start beading without a lot of use of my brain and forethought. So here's me beading by hand. It's really insanely difficult to get the needle through both holes and a little seed bead. And then I tried to do it in the car, which is making me have road rage. Obviously I wasn't driving, and then I got home and I had to undo the whole thing because it just wasn't worth it. Sometimes you go too fast on a costume and you have to mourn the progress lost because the progress you made is terrible. Okay, so I'm coming back from a weekend where I was hoping I'd have more time to work on this, but I sort of rushed getting to this point. As I was embroidering, it just kept coming up with more and more problems. So I decided to take it apart and retry. This piece is still okay, so I'm gonna salvage this one, but I hate these. Because of how thick these things are, I can't really make them pointed, and for some reason in my head when I was making these, I thought they had like a flattened top. That's not accurate. I decided to make version 2, which you can see is much thinner. My new plan is to stack this, which is slightly rounded, this, which is pointy, and then this piece like that. The beads are making me crazy. The colors are way too assorted, so I had to wait for these ones to come in the mail. With that both physical and emotional reset behind me, I start working on the decor for these little shoulder pieces. I'm using glue, who cares? I'm sewing it down. We gotta make these little squares show up, and then I'm doing the very trypophobic, if that's a word, fabric. I need to make it silver, and then I start just cutting it out and putting it all over as decor. And we were back on track again for about 5 whole minutes, because look at this soup. That's not good. Unfortunately, color theory did exactly what I thought color theory would do, and I'm still shocked Pikachu meme. When I dyed it with teal/blue, and now it's periwinkle, and this side is ultraviolet. This side is way too pale, but I think if I were to have success re-dyeing it, this would be my best bet. Would be to do maybe like a teal and green, because I need it to pull way more green. I'm really running out of time to finish this project, and getting this down is a prerequisite to be able to bead on top of it. It's just taking so much longer than I thought. Here I go again, and this time I'm actually gonna use my brain and a color wheel. We're trying to get to this teal color. Let's give it a go. Crisis averted, now let's get back to decor. So I'm working on these other weird elements for the shoulder. These kind of look like little eggs. I made these little tunnel things for the eggs to sit in, gluing them down, and then I'm hand sewing around it and hand sewing it down to the top. And as I'm working on this, there are many iterations of prerequisite things I need to do before I can do the next decor piece on top. So I hand stitch down all of that fabric and then do some more hand stitching with some embroidery thread, and then I can finally bead on top of it. And good thing I decided to just fully trust the strength of this glue with all of my heart, because there was no way I would have had time to hand stitch this all down. And simultaneously, while I finish the beading in every possible free moment I have to start thinking about the bodice, which there are tutorials for online, which is what I'm closely following here, but it takes a lot of grid work, which was, expected, but it's just really tedious. This is looking so cool, but it's taking me so long, and my upper shoulder is going numb from all of the just hours. This took way longer than I thought it would, and I still have to dye the fabric for the skirt, so at least it's taking forever and it looks really cool. It looks good. I just realized I made the wider part backwards. The arrows are supposed to be going away, not towards the boob, away from. Luckily, I only had to undo like 6 rows of smocking, and then I made sure on the next one that I did not make the same mistake. And then we just press everything flat. Okay, these are looking amazing. I did have to use glue, guys. Against my will, but also to save my sanity, I used glue. I leave for Iceland in 2 days. Nothing is assembled, so let's do some assembly. I also still haven't dyed the fabric for the skirt. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to assemble this. I need to figure out where the crisscrosses go. Crisscross! I haven't decorated them yet, but these are the V's. One is more pointy, because I don't want it to be low cut in the back. The swoop is on top or on bottom. This. Like this. It looks too big, but my mannequin's on miniature mode. And I needed to show my belly button. Perfect. Hello. Welcome to my least favorite part of any project and my kitchen. I'm going to be dyeing the fabric. I have left this till the absolute last possible second. I don't know how much I need, but this is not going to be free flowing in there. So I should probably cut it at least in half. Oh my god. This is gonna take so long to boil. I was using kitchen scissors, and that was taking forever, so I did go up and get some fabrics. The glide. The glide. I'm using this Rit Dye Synthetic Frost Gray. It needs to be light gray, so I can't undo making it dark. Cauldron cam. It's purplish brown. Just gonna commit. Bye. But it's like weirdly blue. Okay. Don't know why that's happening. It's coming out too dark and blue, and I just ordered some pleated skirts, one of which comes Friday. The gray one comes Friday. I have a white one coming tomorrow. The heat is taking my pleats out, so now it's just like slightly pleated, barely. And is this the same color? I had to use my backup fabric. I'm just gonna take it out now. I can't do this anymore. This is why I hate dyeing fabric. I'm probably gonna have to iron down every single pleat by hand again. Why is it blue? I'm doing this at 6 a.m. It's blue. I don't understand what happened. It worked. From putting it in just the black dye, it turned purple. Under yellow light, it looks the perfect gray. So I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow dye into the dye bath. At this point, this is the night before I'm supposed to leave for Iceland. It's the most crunch time I've ever done for a costume, and we're just making it happen. I have to hand pleat this all over again. I'm using the world's smallest ironing board because this is all I have. So it probably would have gone faster if I had a full-size ironing board, but we made it work somehow, and I started assembling it the morning I had to leave, and somehow we've made it work. I packed her up. She somehow survived all these pleats in being shoved in a packing cube. Genuinely can't believe I finished it, so let's go to Iceland. I'm in Iceland. I've slept for 1.5 out of the last 36 hours, and I did cry on the plane while watching Titanic for the first time since it traumatized me when I was 8. Anyways, 2 days until shoot day. I literally finished Daenerys 4 hours before we had to leave for the airport. But it's been so exciting so far. I've already seen one Game of Thrones filming location, which is Skogafoss. It's just really cold and wet here, but that's exactly what I was looking for a reprieve from the heat wave at home. I've never been more tired in my life. How many hours have we been awake now? 40, maybe 40. It's 2 a.m. Time for Daenerys. Dun, 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 dun. This is 2 a.m. by the way. Still pretty bright, but technically night. We're out here on location of the photo shoot. It's now 4 a.m. and I'm freaking cool. But the photos are coming out cool. Look at it. Like, totally optional, by the way. I'm having fun, but I'm just freezing and overstimulated. We're walking to the Viking village now. I know, the big schemat's so cool. My wig looks terrible in most of them because it's blowing off my head. The Prozade cannot hold on. Hello? Viking ship. And a village. This is the Viking village. It's cool, but seems like the wrong vibe. Also, it's kind of spooky. Alright, I'm done! I could cry. I'm so relieved that's over. The photos are probably so cool, but I'm so overstimulated and cold. I am back in America, home from Iceland. I have come home to a continued heat wave, smoke and air quality issues from Canadian forest fires, a parasite that means we can't eat any vegetables, and now there's a monsoon and tornado warnings. So I should have just stayed there, but I'm wearing the cosplay again because I wanted to film Get Ready With Me. So here she is. The videos on the beach for the reveal. The wig was holding on for dear life because of the wind. The back of the dress kept popping open, so the fit wasn't perfect. All right, this is what it was supposed to look like. These held on so well. I don't think that any even came off, which is a huge surprise to me, and that's why I didn't want to use glue in the first place. The pleats also held up incredibly well. They're still pleated, and it's traveled to and from Iceland. The bottom, because I didn't hem it, is frayed, but that's fine. I'm shocked as usual that I finished it in the time frame, given how intricate this was. This tested me, and I shouldn't have left it for last, but it was a make it work moment. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more cosplay content. I've been kind of MIA because I've been at everyone I know's wedding for the past 6 months, and I am literally looking at a Knight's Tale costume that's finished but not filmed yet. And the next surprise cosplay that I haven't started yet is, guess how old I'm turning. It's gonna be January from 13 going on 30. So stay tuned for those videos and more, because I'm trying to be back for the year and make costumes, because if I don't, I go crazy. So I'd rather like be crying about pleats instead of having no creative outlet in my life. So that wraps it up. Bye.